All right. Actually, I don't know if we're live just yet. I got the stream up. Let me make sure it's there.
Yeah, it says live.
It says we're live, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're live on stream. I had one of my regulars was actually telling me about it. Oh, there we go. All right, now we're live. He was telling me about how Netflix and Twitch and other services that do streaming, they convert your video as you're streaming, so that all different types of players can read the output, and they do it almost instantaneously, and it's one of the reasons why there's a delay. But yeah, it was an interesting conversation. He called out he's a technical guy. He called out a whole bunch of crap that I was like, had no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, hey everybody, we're live streaming. It's Saturday night. And welcome to Misfit Corner SCAMS. This is the artist known as Andrew speaking. His good buddy Avery is here to join us.
SCAMS.
And I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. So
Yeah.
let's go through and say hi to a few people. Of course, Manuel is here. Manuel, good evening.
Course.
He says, good evening, my good friend Drew. Happy Saturday night. Absolutely. Darlene's here. Says hi to Manuel. Hi, Darlene. How are you? David's here. He says hi. Hello to Drew. Thank you, sir. Manuel says, good evening, Dave. Happy Saturday night. He says, good evening, Darlene. Happy Saturday night. And he says, good evening to Avery. Happy Saturday night.
Hello.
Let's see who else is here. MK McHugh says, good evening. Welcome to the show. And Dave says, same to you, Manuel. All right. Excellent. I was just telling Avery that I had a really good day at the store today. Last week, a gentleman came in, and some of this stuff you guys may not care about one lick or iota, but I'm just going to cover it real quick because I have something to show to Avery, and some of you might find it interesting. But the guy traded me a copy of Darth Maul #2 and in a graded 9.8, which is really, really high for modern comics.
Sure.
And this comic's so significant because it was the first appearance of a character in Star Wars named of Cad Bane. Cad Bane was a character in the Clone Wars cartoon show, but this was his first appearance in the comics. And first appearance in comics tend to be pretty substantial. And so I made him a deal, a little bit of cash, a little bit of trade, but I came out of it very, very happy. And of course, I reached out to one of my buddies who is into graded comics, and he immediately was like, hey, you interested in making a trade? I said, well, bring me some stuff and make it worth my while, and absolutely we can talk. And so he brought in a box of different things for me to look through, and I picked out a couple that I was interested in. Then we did some price verifying and checking, and I ended up getting 2 books in exchange for that one. And I was happy with the deal. So I'm going to show you the books in just a second, but let me catch up on the chat so we can say hi to everybody. Dave says, same to you, Manuel. I already had that. Very good. Dave says, hello, Avery. How are you? Pez is here. Hey, Pez, how's my friend down under? Says good day from down under. Hope everyone is well. Absolutely. Dave says hi to Pez. Manuel says good evening to Pez and happy Saturday night. Pez says good day to Dave. Rosie's here. Hey, Rosie, how's it going? Says hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great weekend. Virtual hugs. And Jim's here. Jim says good evening from New Jersey. Well, welcome to the show, Jim. Fantastic. All right. So the 2 books I ended up getting. The first one, Avery, probably not going to be thrilled by you at all, but it's Web of Spider-Man number 118. It's a 9.2. It is the first time Ben Reilly, who is one of Peter Parker's clones, appears as Scarlet Spider. Now, the importance of this book, if you're a big Scarlet Spider fan, there's not a lot of them out there. But he is one of the main cast members of the new movie. So his first appearance in costume, maybe worth a couple of bucks.
The new Into the Spider-Verse?
Yep, Into the Spider-Verse. And a 9.2 is not bad. Of course, it's not the best condition you can get, but it's actually up there it's actually a newsstand, or no, it's a direct edition. So it's a decent issue, and there's probably going to be fans out there of it.
Ben Reilly does have his fans.
He does. The second one I got, Avery, it's a 5.0, which isn't horrible for a comic of its age. This is actually from 1973. This book is actually older than me by a couple of months. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 124, the first appearance of Man-Wolf.
Oh, cool.
Look at that pretty cover. And of course,
reflection, I can't see it really.
Look at that pretty cover.
Good. Yeah.
Look at that. Is that not gorgeous?
Oh, yeah.
That is such a great dynamic cover. And it is his first appearance. They haven't done anything with him in any of the movies or cartoon shows, but he's one of those characters who his origin is he's J. Jonah Jameson's son, who's an astronaut, goes to the moon and comes back and becomes a villain. Well, is he a villain? Well, he was a creature. I don't know if he was necessarily a villain.
In the cartoons, that's how they introduced Venom.
Yes, they did. But Man-Wolf is, I mean, it's a first appearance, so it's got significance. But this is a book that is going on 50 years old, and I just think it looked beautiful. And I was like, that's the one I want. That's the one I want. The other one he had, which if I traded for him, it would have been the only one I got. But I was trying to get more than one. Was the Thor issue with Beta Ray Bill like smashing the cover, and it's like his origin. Oh, it was a pretty book, but
he has it graded.
He has it graded. I don't remember the grade. It was actually he sent me a picture of it graded, but it was like a $300 book.
Oh,
so, I mean, yeah.
What does he want? Damn, I should have bought it for a lot less than that graded a few years ago. Then. Yeah,
but these two were equal to. It was a 9.4.
9.4. $300. That seems a little steep.
It was, and I was trying to get more than one, just simply because my
whole
thought
was. What does he want for it?
We didn't even talk about that. We were working on trade, so he's not selling them right now. So.
Oh, he's not selling them?
Yeah,
I was going to say ask him if he was.
Yeah.
You know, someone who could be interested for the right price.
All right. Well, I'll tell him that. I see him all the time. I'll mention it to him. But it was either 2 or 1, and I went with the 2.
Yeah.
Simply because the funny thing is I know I'm talking wasting everybody's time. I promise I'll wrap this up quickly. But with these two, I could sell one of these for a little bit less than it guides for, make back all my money, and then keep the other one just for me. And can you guess which one I would keep just for me?
The Spider-Man.
Well, they're both Spider-Man, but the Man-Wolf one.
Yeah.
But okay, that's enough shop talk.
The classic Spider-Man.
Gorgeous looking cover.
Well,
so.
See, that Thor issue, I have a copy of it somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's one I pulled out of a 50-cent bin. It's not in great shape. It's a reader copy. It's not falling apart, but you know, it's got the yellowing, and it's definitely a reader copy, and I want a good copy of that book.
Well, what he has is a collector's keep it forever edition. So, all right, let me catch up on the chat, and then we'll get started. Manuel says, "Hey, New Jersey, I lived there with my family in 1973. I lived in New Jersey too for a little while. I was just a kid, so I don't remember it. But I think at most Navy families that travel up and down the East Coast hit New Jersey at some point." Andy's here. Hey, Andy. He says, "Hey, Drew, do you ever get any car insurance scams?" From time to time. I haven't gotten one in a while, but I've gotten some directly where they're calling you, trying to offer you better car insurance, and they're so despicable. They're so despicable. Jim R. is here. He says, "Cool." Manuel says, "Good evening, Rosies. Happy Saturday night. I'm enjoying my weekend. Beautiful day. Fantastic." Glenn's here. Hey, Glenn says, "I'm at a barbershop harmony convention in Cheyenne, so unable to contribute tonight. Have a great week." Oh, wow. A barbershop harmony convention. That actually sounds kind of like a swing and happening place. What do you think, Avery?
I don't know.
Hey, I mean,
It sounds it's different.
hey, we tell people we go to comic book conventions, and they're like,
know.
"What comic books? What do you do?"
I don't go to comic book conventions. What are those?
Well, you used to,
Those are for nerds.
and you used to love it. Stop it.
Nerds.
Manuel says, "Good evening to Glenn. Happy Saturday night." Glenn says, "Our choir is performing tonight. Our chapter sponsors the event. That's fantastic, Glenn. That's awesome. Very nice. Very nice." I don't have a musical bone in my body. There's a video out there of me singing to one of my scammers, so you guys know for a fact it's not something anybody wants to hear. So that's awesome, Glenn. I hope you have a fantastic time. Very cool. Very cool. Darlene says, "Hi, Rosie. Memorial for my mother was May 6th. I paid for the obituary in the paper. Ridiculous cost of $400. Wow. I was just talking to Avery about my daughter's for her wedding. She's hiring a photographer, and the quote we got back that she's going to probably go with is like $900 for the entire day, and they want half of it up front. And the wedding's not for a whole nother year.
Oof.
So, get those expenses out of the way. But $400 for an obituary? Wow. I hear you, Darlene. Feel for you. That's. You know what's so funny is I screw around with these final expense insurance scammers, but that's definitely something that people should look into. They shouldn't do it when a scammer calls them, but reach out to companies that actually offer that stuff, legitimate companies that offer that stuff, and definitely look into it, especially if you don't have like life insurance. Definitely reach out to companies, legitimate companies that offer that insurance. But when people call you soliciting you, those scammers, they're just pieces of crap and want to take advantage of you. So I've actually had conversations with some insurance salesmen who have said on my videos, final expense insurance is a real thing. And I said, I understand. I know that. But these people calling you up, claiming to be from Senior Benefits, which if you go to Senior Benefits website, they specifically say on their website, we do not call you. If you receive a call from somebody claiming to be us, it is a scam. I mean, they've gotten so many inquiries about that they have to have a warning on their website. But there are legitimate companies out there that offer insurance, final expense insurance, and anybody, if it's something that you need or something that you think you're going to need, definitely look into it. Go to their website, give them a call, find out the information. But when these people call you, telling you they're offering it to you, you got to be real careful, because sometimes they're just despicable, evil people calling you. So,
yeah.
All right. Saskia is here. Hey, everybody. Says late as normal. It's all right. That's all right. Sometimes we're late too. Actually, tonight I think I was on time, so I'm doing good. But welcome to the show. Rosie says, "Good evening, Manuel. It's been so sunny here too. Spring has arrived. Hope you're having a fabulous weekend. Virtual hug. Very good." Actually, Avery, I don't know about you. Well, you're way up away from where I'm at. Jen and I sat down for dinner, and it was like the entire house rumbled with thunder. And I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't know if something was just coming through, but it literally felt like it was shaking the house. I don't know if it even rained or not, but the thunder was pretty intense for a few minutes there. So if you're not getting it, you'll get it eventually, But yeah, I know. We talk about the weather on this show too.
How's the weather?
Yeah, that's right. Rosie says, "OMG, that's horrendous. How can you sleep doing that, Darlene? I'm sorry. Keep you in our thoughts and prayers. Virtual hugs." Yes, absolutely. Saskia says, "God bless Rosie's Cottage. So nice to see you here too." Manuel says, "Good evening, Saskia. Happy Saturday night." Jim says, "Did anyone ever get an internet company scam when they tell you your computer is sending errors to their servers? Then they want you to download software to check your computer?" Yep. And the most likely the programs that they want you to download are there's a couple of really common ones that they want you to download. Team something, not Team Viewer. Oh crap, I'm already forgetting the name of it. I've dealt with it multiple times. But literally what the programs do is they allow you to give somebody access to control your computer.
Yeah.
That's all they want. That's all they want. I had a scam call the other day where they called and said that my Windows computer wasn't receiving updates. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. What do I need to do? And they said, well, are you sitting in front of your computer? And I'm like, yes. And they said, do you see the Windows key? And I said, yes. They said, press that and hold it down and press R. And I go, okay. And they said, what happens? I said, nothing. And they said, did you do it right? I said, well, I know how to open a run menu. I can do that. And they go, oh, well, then you can do that. And I said, yeah, but I have a Mac. And they said, wait a minute, you have a Windows keyboard and a Mac? And I'm like, yeah. And then they hang up on me. I don't have a Windows machine. That's probably why my Windows updates aren't happening. But they call you and try to convince you of something, and then they try to get you to run a program or install a program, and they're specifically looking for something that will allow them to take over your computer.
Yeah.
So don't do it. Don't ever do it.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know? Honestly, I don't think Windows calls people, to be honest with you.
Not that I know of.
Not legitimately,
Mm-mm.
So AnyDesk, yes, that's it. AnyDesk and Team Viewer. Yes, Saskia, you're absolutely right. AnyDesk was the one I was thinking of because I actually, in the past, have downloaded it just to see what it is, but I've never given them my information. So, well. All right, let's see what's going on here. Manuel says, Drew, you say your birthday is March 1st. She passed away on Saturday 1st of 2014. Who? Oh, well, yeah, I say March 1st all the time. Yeah, that's the fake birth date I give. Who passed away on Saturday? Manuel? I'm not sure who he's talking about, but Rosie says hello to Saskia. Says, how's your week been? Wonderful, I hope. Virtual hugs. Darlene says, thanks. My sister and nieces are pitching in for other expenses. Good. It's good to have family around to help with that kind of stuff because one person cannot do it all. My my only bit of advice would be very careful what bills you do pay. When my mom's mother passed away, we were living in a joint duplex house right next to him, and my mom, as the oldest, stepped in to take care of everything, and she thought she was doing right. She paid the insurance and the car bill, and she started paying all the bills, but she was using her own money to do it. And when they finally reached out to an attorney to get everything settled, the attorney said, Stop doing that right now, because you may never get that money back. Stop. Don't pay it with your own money. Please, God, don't. And my mom thought she was just being responsible.
Yeah.
And the lawyer's like, you have no idea if there's insurance, if you're going to get anything. No, stop. Because the last thing you want to do is go in debt for something that's not yours and that you're never going to see again. Luckily there was life insurance and she was reimbursed and everything was okay. But the lawyer jumped in and said, stop paying those bills. They can wait. They're not that important. And a lot of people who are trying to be good, trying to take care of their family and do the right thing, can get themselves into a lot of financial problems.
Mm-hmm.
Darlene, one of the other things to be concerned about is when you put an obituary in regards to a family member in the newspaper and whatnot, people want to take advantage of that, and they'll start to reach out to you. They'll start to reach out. Salesmen will reach out to you because they're going to try to sell you something. And the reason is they know that if you have somebody that passed in your family, there's a good chance there's insurance money, and there's a good chance you're going to get some. When my father-in-law passed away, my mother-in-law was inundated with calls, like almost every day, people trying to sell this and sell that because they knew, as the wife, if there was insurance, she was going to have some money coming to her. They are despicable, evil, ugly people that do that. And because it's public knowledge, obituaries and so forth, that's where they get the information, and they will try to take advantage of you. So just please, good God, be careful. Okay? Just be careful, because there are ugly people out there that take advantage of people in their times of need, in their times of despair, in their times of trying, and they're horrible, but they do it. There's a lot of people out there that make a living doing that. Just, that's two things. Be careful paying bills, and number two, be careful when people call you and try to sell you stuff, because they know you've got money, or they think you've got money, and they will take advantage of you. So this is experience talking here with that last one. I haven't had to deal with the loss of somebody that, and then I'm like the executor. I am the executor of a couple of people's wills, but luckily those people haven't done anything yet. I mean, it's the truth, but I have been around when somebody passed away, and then people want to come out of the woodwork and take advantage of you. So just be aware. All right, let me go back to this real quick. Darlene says, spring weather here, rainy weekend. Yep. Saskia says, AnyDesk and TeamViewer. Yep, I got that. Emmanuel says, AnyDesk. He's heard of it too. Glass Bottles 651 says, hello, E&E. Welcome to the show. He's the one I refer to as Glass Bottom. I don't know why. That's just the first word that sticks in my head. But Rosie says to Darlene, sends Darlene virtual hugs and hearts. Bill's here. Hey, Bill, how's it going? He says hi. Saskia says, I'm totally into scam baiters on YouTube. Well, fantastic. My rules, there's 3 rules I have: to inform, make you aware of what these people are trying to do and what they're saying and what they're trying to convince you of. Number 2, to entertain you. I'm not really trying to entertain the scammers, but sometimes it happens. I get a chuckle out of them every now and then. And number 3 is to waste as much of their time as possible. I try that on almost every single call. That's one. You guys will notice that usually when I'm talking to the scammers, I'm nice. I act naive. I want to know what they're calling about. I want to help them. I want them to tell me what it is they're doing so that I can, be a light in their world. Be a light in their week, be the person that they go, I want them to hang up the phone and go, I really am glad I called that person and tried to steal that from them, because it didn't work, but I tried. Scam baiting is easy to do. All you have to do is waste their time, and it's wonderful. Darlene says, I had to get McAfee off my computer. I keep getting pop-ups of a virus That's one of the reasons why I like my Mac. Macs are very low on the computer virus targeting, just simply because there's not as many Macs out there. At least that's what I've been told. I'm sure you've heard that before too, Avery, that there's not as many Macs out there, so they go after the ones that are the most available, and that's Windows PCs.
Plus, they're writing them on Macs.
Yeah, that's true. Some of them are. Rosie says hi to Bill. Manuel says it was his mother. Okay, I got you. On March 1st? Really? That's a busy day, I guess. Sorry about that, Manuel. I use that date when they ask me my birth date. Just simply, there's no connection for me to March 1st, 1955. I don't know. It's just a date that in my head I can remember easily. And if they're calling about Medicare, I say I was born in 55, which makes me old enough to have Medicare. But if they're calling about health insurance, I say March 1st, 1960, which makes me 63 and not old enough for Medicare. So it depends on how they begin their conversation with me. If they're looking for somebody on Medicare or looking for somebody not on Medicare, my birthday switches up based on those 2 dates. So, Penny's here. Hey, Penny says, yippee, caught a live stream. Well, fantastic. Welcome to the show. I know Penny's been here before, so that's awesome. Manuel says, good evening, Bill. Happy Saturday night. Pez says, good evening to Bill. Jim says, I watched your videos. You make those scammers backfire in their scammer faces. Farces. Jeez. And I even blew it up so I can read it. And he says, good job. Yeah.
Scammer farces.
Farces. Yeah, I know.
It blows up their farts.
God, that's horrible. The thought of that. I've actually had conversation with some scammers where I'm like, "Hey, are you okay? You sound really tired. Are you falling asleep?" I mean, I'm genuinely concerned for their well-being
Oh
and
my
their health.
gosh, you should
I should
be.
start saying, "Hey, did you just fart? I
Yeah.
just heard a fart."
Did you fart? Did you shit yourself? Did you make a boom boom?
Thank you, Jim. I mean, you didn't mean to, but you gave me a good idea. We'll see what happens. Rosie says, "Oh no, oh Manuel, I'm so sorry for your loss." Virtual hug.
Yeah.
Pez says, "Good day" to Rosie. Rosie says, "Hi" to Pez. Bill says, "Vultures waiting to pounce." Yes, that's exactly what they are. Rosie says, "Hi" to Penny. Manuel says, "Good evening" to Penny. Saskia says, "Thank you, Drew. You're so right about what you told Darlene. It is a scary world." You know what's so funny? The same exact thing happens when you buy a home. When you buy a house, I'm not sure if there's like a listing of sold houses that go out, but businesses get copies of lists of people who have recently bought it, and they will bombard you with telephone calls. My parents got everything from the water softener people, the home security people, to the guy that paints your number on your driveway, which my mom fell for and paid for that. And when she showed it to us, she's like, "You could have stenciled your own number on your driveway. You didn't have to pay a guy to do it." And she goes, "Yeah, but it's for security." And I'm like, I said, "Mom, look down this strip of houses on your block. Do you see anybody else that has that done?" And she's looking and she's like, "No." And I said, "Yeah, well, you were the sucker that got caught. You paid some guy $200 to stencil your number on your driveway." I don't know how much it was, but whatever it was a ridiculous amount of money for
what it was.
For what it was, yeah.
Yeah, when you can, it's like you could have done it for like $5.
Yes, you could have. But my parents, God love them. But they when they sold their house and bought a new house a couple of years ago, they didn't fall for it the second time. I'm like, "Very good, Mom. You did get that damn water softener thing, didn't you?" She says, "Well, yeah, we like that." I'm like, oh, jeez. Yeah. Glass bottle says, "That's why you don't put deceased mailing addresses like they used to back in the day." I'm not sure if they still do that or not, but obituaries are very much the same thing. And there are people out there that scour the area to find out who passed away and who died, and especially when it says they're survived by their spouse or survived by somebody, they know that's an easy target. They know that if there's insurance money, that's the person that's going to get it. It's almost like the newspapers and obituaries are in a racket with scammers and people that want to take advantage of you, you know. But it's also a common. It's a obituaries and announcements like that are very common things. Are very common things that everybody takes for granted in the long run. You know, somebody gets married, somebody passes away, somebody, you know, these things we like to tell the world, and newspaper obituaries and announcements and so forth are just a list of ways that people will try to take advantage of you. You know, it's ugly.
I don't like to tell nobody nothing.
You don't like to tell nobody nothing. That's right. He actually lives in New Jersey right now. He just hadn't told anybody he's moved.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, like I would ever move to New Jersey.
Hey, you never know. Yeah.
No, I am not moving to New Jersey ever.
Penny says, "Hello, friends. Welcome." Glass Bottle says, "It's okay." Darlene says, "My sister Donna has been living with my mother, and before my father passed, she's a smart woman. She knows what to do." Okay, fantastic. Well, then, in other words, my warning was a general warning to everybody in the audience then. The number of people that contacted my mother-in-law after my father-in-law passed away was disgusting. People that wanted to sell stuff. You know, they wanted you to buy, the roofers, the guys coming out that wanted to paint the house. You know, I mean, it was just all over the place. It's like you don't hear from these people for years and years and years, and all of a sudden they start coming out of the woodwork because somebody in the family passed away. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that everything that I do as a business, whether it's my regular 9-to-5 job, my weekend job at the store, or the channels is I'm not taking advantage of anybody, or at least I don't think I'm taking advantage of anybody. I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. I feel like I'm living an honest life, you know, and I think that's an important thing in life. So I can't. I used to know a guy. I was slightly related to him because he was my brother-in-law for a little bit of time. Then he wasn't. And he sold vacuum cleaners door to door. And he was actually bragging to me one day about how he had gone to a lady's house who had bought the company that he had sold the vacuum cleaner from a few years prior. And he went to her house to try to upsell her on a new vacuum cleaner. And he said to me, he said, "This is what I did." I said, "Here, bring out your old one." And they put a little bit of dirt on the ground, right, on the carpet. And then he used her old vacuum cleaner and he vacuumed up the area, and he showed her, "Look, this is what your vacuum cleaner does, but this is what the new vacuum cleaner does." And he went over the same area and then showed, "Look, this is all the stuff that old one didn't pick up." He told me he specifically missed a spot just so that there would be something else to pick up. And that convinced the lady to buy a new and upgrade vacuum cleaner. It's like, you are a despicable piece of crap, dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad he hasn't been my brother-in-law for many, many, many years, but I just...
Sounds like a real peckerhead.
Yeah, he was. The thought of taking advantage of somebody in their own home, you know, just... He said, "Yeah, her vacuum cleaner worked perfectly fine, but I need to make a sale, so..." I'm like, dude, that's just nasty ugly. So Bill says obituaries can be expensive. Yeah. I'm not sure. I know my mother-in-law took care of, or at least the funeral home took care of the one for my father-in-law. I have no idea how much it costs. I don't have a clue. But that stuff is nothing about funerals is cheap. Nothing. You know? But yeah. Saskia says, "Hi, Penny. Everybody is so friendly here." Well, thank you. Thank you. Everybody is. Pez says, "Good day to Penny." Rosie says, "I'm so glad, Darlene. It will help to have support, and I'm very glad she's able to handle the arrangements. I have no idea and rely on mostly hubby and my uncle." Yeah. I'm lucky. I think I'm lucky in the fact that I haven't had anybody close in a couple of years. Like I think grandma passed away. My wife's grandmother passed away about over a year now. It's been over a year. And before that, it was the father-in-law. But before that, there wasn't really anybody. Nothing really happened. And sometimes that's a blessing. But the scary thing is people get older. And it's a cycle of life, you know? You have older people in your family that pass away, and it happens. But, yeah. I told my wife, I said, if something happens to me, there's only 3 people in this world that I want to speak at my wake, or anybody to speak and tell stories about me. And that's Yuli, Todd, and this guy right here, Avery. And the reason is they know all my secrets. They know the truth behind all my stories that I've ever told in my life, because most likely one of the 3 of them was there when it happened.
Yeah.
And I'll be dead, so I don't care. You guys can tell. You can tell the secrets if you want. That's perfectly fine by me.
And we will.
I know you will. Every time my mother-in-law does something silly, I just say, "Oh, I got to write this down for your obituary, for your eulogy." And she's like, "Oh, good God." I said, "Yep, prepare, because it's coming. It's going to be a good one."
Oh.
Did I ever tell you what I told my mom about hers?
Oh, God. Probably, but I don't remember.
Well, she did try to scare me away from saying anything bad by telling me that she wanted it in a church. She wants me to deliver the eulogy in a church. And I'm like, do you think I'm afraid that I'm going to burst into flames if I walk into a church? I'm not worried. I'm not scared. She's like, "Oh, God." And I said, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk up to the podium. I'm going to bang my hand on the podium, and I'm going to say, 'I have grievances.' And then I'm going to pull out a list."
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And when I told that to my mom and dad, because it was me, my mom, my dad, and my sister. We were there talking about their anniversary party. And I told my dad that, and he's just laughing his ass off. He's like, I cannot wait to see this. I love my parents. But I'm going to get some grievances out, guys. I'm going to. Just because I love them. But they're good people. They're good people, so I'd be nice to them.
Your parents are nice. I like them.
They are. But my mother is crazy.
True, but she's not a bad person.
No, not a bad person. All right. Let me catch up on the chat, and then we'll maybe get into some details about the channel. Manuel says, I enjoy your video this morning. It was awesome. Great drawing. Well, thank you very much. That was, if I remember correctly, that was the Crom and the Warrior Rabbit pinup that I did. That was a lot of fun. That's actually one that I have in the store. I meant to bring it home and be able to show you guys how big it is and the size of it, but I forgot it. But that's okay. But Tuesday's drawing video is one of Avery's favorites. It's the mushroom snake.
Oh, the mushroom snake.
The mushroom snake, yes. It's one of Avery's favorites, so you guys will get a kick out of that. You know what's so funny is I don't call it the mushroom snake in the video, but now that I've revealed it, everybody that's hearing this is going to go, that's what he meant.
The mushroom snake.
Well. All right. Bill says telemarketers and junk mail also. Yes, you get telemarketer calls and you get junk mail galore when deaths in the family happening. Oh, hey, Blue Samurai's here. Hey, Blue Samurai, how's it going? He says, yep, I got bombarded with home ownership stuff when I moved into my new apartment. Yep. How the heck are you, dude? How you doing, Blue? Hope everything's going good. Blue's one of the guys that has been around since the early comic days of the channel.
Yep.
So fantastic. It's so good to see you here. Thank you so much, man. Darlene says, our paper did not charge any fee when we put the obituary for our daughter. Really? Well, that was very nice of them. It was very nice of them. I think like I said, I think the funeral home took care of the obituary and all that stuff. So my mother-in-law didn't have to contact the newspaper or anything. They took care of everything. They were, even though they were expensive, they were very, very helpful when my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and my wife's grandmother passed away. So they were good people, and my mother-in-law appreciated it. My mother-in-law, once my father-in-law passed, went ahead and took care of all of her arrangements for her and got everything done. She went in and she sat down and says, they're not going to, my kids aren't going to deal with this when it happens to me. I'm going to take care of all of it right now. And she took care of everything. So once again, it's one of those things where I'll just have to show up and maybe give a eulogy, which I'm getting really good at. I'm really good at that. All right. Bill says, it's a city ordinance that we have a large address number on our door frame. Now, see, that I can understand, but what these people were pitching was at the end of your driveway, because all the cars in their neighborhood had driveways and garages, of stenciling the number of the apartment or the number of the house on the curb of the driveway. It's not an ordinance. It's not something that's necessary. It's a feature that you can get done, but you can literally do it yourself, but oh well, they take advantage of new homeowners that don't know.
Yeah.
So, Rosie says it's not always even scammers. There are elderly ladies in news a while ago who lost almost all her savings because she signed up to a charity, a direct debit. Oh, goodness gracious. It turns out the charity sells donors' details. Oh, that's horrible. I think some of those charities are scammers anyway, so I would never give to people that call up on the phone. So Blue says, even charities? Dang. Oh, yeah, I get dozens of charity calls.
Yeah, that are.
And I always ask them the same questions. They always hang up on me when I ask the same questions. So you guys have probably heard some of those videos before. Darlene says, people stole equipment from my brother-in-law's business during the funeral. That just stinks. That's horrible. See, I know I rag on a lot of the foreign scammers, the people that call you up and try to steal your money. But there's people right down the street from you that'll take advantage of you. You really got to be careful. That's horrible. I hope you reported it to the police, and I hope somebody's able to do something. Darlene, that's horrible. Rosie says, yes, they share them amongst each other, and the donors get flooded with heartbreaking images, leaflets, etc. Yep, they do that as well. Rosie says, that poor lady, it was her daughter who discovered too late her mom had signed up, and all the companies called and writing to her. You guys, I know I say this often. I probably need to say it more often, but if you have elderly family members, make them aware that people are calling. They're trying to take advantage of them. It's just, I don't think we can remind people enough that there's despicable, ugly people out there trying to steal from us every single day. And it's the elderly that you guys have heard my calls where they call, especially the ones that call the Amazon ones, where they tell you there's been an order placed on your Amazon account. They're trying to take advantage of you and scare you into thinking your identity's been stolen, and oh my gosh, you're going to lose all your money. That's how they try to get you, is to scare you, to make you afraid, to tell you that there's an arrest warrant out there for you. Oh, trust me, that video's coming Tuesday. Or is it Monday? The first I don't know. I don't remember if I told you guys I had an Amazon call that turned into a Bank of America call that turned into an FTC, the Federal Trade Commission call. And at the end of the calls, it was like almost a 45-minute long video, and it's just too big for me. So I went ahead and cut it in half. The first half of that video is coming tomorrow. That'll be Sunday's video. And the other half, which is the FTC guy, will be Monday. Just listen to those videos. You guys have heard them before. You've heard this type of scam before. But the level of fear that they try to convince you, and they escalate it. It goes from, somebody's using your Amazon account, to all of a sudden somebody's creating bank accounts in your name, to all of a sudden there's an arrest warrant out for you. They escalate it to the point where they want you to be afraid. They want you to be scared. They want you to panic, and they want you to think that they're there to help you, and they're not. They're there to try to steal as much of your money as possible. And the calls that you guys are going to hear tomorrow and Monday, prime examples of the lengths that they will go to try to convince you that they're there to protect you and help you, and you should be scared to death. And there's a lot of elderly people out there. You guys may have family members who are this way, who, if they got that call, they'd be crapping in their pants. And you need to tell them, these are lies. These are scams. These are people trying to take advantage of you. Hang up on them. Hang up on them as quickly as you can. Never give them any of your valid information. And if they want, and if they're capable, screw with them. Like I always say, hang up on them or screw with them like I do. Okay? All right, rant over. That's a rant. We'll wrap it up. Rosie says, hold on a second. Let's see. Rosie says, I had to cancel the direct debits and bank wouldn't help. They said, oh, wait a minute. They had to cancel the direct debits and the bank wouldn't help. They said she agreed to all the payments, money gifts, etc. That is another scary thing. Your bank cannot always help you if you do it yourself. If you set it up, in some cases, they have no way of canceling something. If you freely give your information to somebody and you are taken advantage of, sometimes there's nothing they can do about that. Go close your bank account. Take all your money out and go to another bank if you have to. But when it comes to the money you've already lost, there are some cases where you will never see that money again, ever. And people should be scared because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take as much of your money as possible and never give it back. Rosie says, so the daughter went to the local news to warn others who had elderly parents to keep safe. Absolutely. That's a wonderful thing. But it's scary how many people. Guys, what's really scary, what's really frightening, the scammers and these calls that I get, they're always the same type of calls, and they're trying it over and over and over again. And you want to know why they do that? Is because it works. There are people out there that fall for this. There are people out there who get conned and get scammed. It works. But the more you guys know what's happening, the better protected you can be. And I wish there was a way to tell everybody in the world what's going on, but they change the scams all the time. They change the way they do it. They change what it's called. They change what they're looking for. And they try to convince you that they're going to help you and that you should be scared. And fear and is one of the big motivators that give people to freak out and give up information. You know, everybody gets in that situation from time to time, but you got to realize these people want nothing more than to take advantage of you. You know, Blue says that's almost as bad as having one's identity stolen. Rosie says, except in those cases, the bank helps a little. When your identity gets stolen, there's not a lot they can do. You know, you can make reports, and there can be flags put on your identity in ways like your credit bureau and so forth. But when it comes to losing your money, you may never ever see it again. You know, you got to be really careful. Glass Bottle says, this is why I stopped donating blood, because they sold my info to scammers, the fake cops and firefighters and breast kit scammer donation calls. Yep. There are a lot of companies. Google is one of them. I mean, that when they get your information, they will sell it to people who will want to try to advertise to you, and they are not always selling it to people who are honest. My mother-in-law, she goes on Facebook all the time, and I tell her, I say, one of the phrases that she says that sends a shiver down my spine is, I read it on Facebook. That scares me to death when I hear her say that. But she had found an advertisement on Facebook for luggage, and it was a really great deal, and she wanted to do it. She actually went through the whole process, filled out the form, everything. Luckily, her bank caught it and stopped it, and they got her number changed and everything. And then she was showing me where she saw the advertisement. And even though it says, what's the big one that Home Shopping Network? It was one of those. They were sponsored by Home Shopping Network. The website that she went to had nothing to do with the Home Shopping Network. And then what was so funny is she starts scrolling through her Facebook page. She goes, oh, wait, look, there's another ad. And it was a completely different company, but it was the same exact ad for the same exact product. And she saw at least 3 of them. And I'm like, you know, Facebook is cashing their check and taking their money. There's no responsibility to whether or not these people advertising are actually valid or not. You know, they have they're hands off completely. They're making their money. And yeah, hearing her say, I read it on Facebook. Luckily, she's not on Twitter.
That's a lot of old people.
Yes.
I saw it on the Facebook.
I saw it on the Facebook, yeah.
They don't even say you saw it on Facebook. I saw it on the Facebook.
Yeah, they do that too.
It's the Facebook, and you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Yep. Saskia says, Hurricane Ida. We got a tree leaning on the roof. The first tree remover wanted a ridiculous amount of money. The second were people from Kansas and came to Louisiana to help out with the roof. See, that's another situation. That's another thing where people will take advantage of people who are desperate. You know, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I hope the people from Louisiana were able to help and did a good job. But yeah, that's scary that they do that as well. Google OpenAI test feature says AK scammer cocaine. Okay. I have no idea what that means, but welcome to the show, Open Google AI. Blue Samurai says to a Glass Bottle, I had to threaten the blood donor people because I was getting 3 pieces of mail per week, 2 calls per week, and 1 to 2 calls on the weekends.
Jeez.
You know, somebody told me, and I don't know, I've never actually tried this, that said, if you ever fill out a form online for ordering something, no matter how, even if it's like if you're ordering from like Best Buy or you're ordering from Walmart or some reputable place, Amazon, what you do is when you fill out the form and you put your name in, like for example, mine would be Andrew Charper, put your middle name as the company you're ordering from. So I would put Andrew Best Buy Charper. And if you ever get a solicitation from another company and the name is Andrew Best Buy Charper, you know which company sold your information. And I've been told that it'll actually work in some cases. Some places don't catch it because they don't look at your middle name. Your middle name's unimportant. But if you put the name of the company you're ordering in, that's a way to find out. Now, whether or not you can do anything about it, probably not.
Yeah.
But
it'll tell you who sold your
it'll tell you who sold your information. Yeah. So I haven't actually tried it because
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Or even just put, or even maybe in my middle name is William, it's W. But if I was ordering something from Amazon, make it A. Or if I was ordering something from Best Buy, make it a B. Just so you know when you get a solicitation and it has your middle initial wrong, you have an idea of who sold it. Whether, like I said, whether or not you can do anything about it, that's a whole different story. But yeah. So maybe. Blue says, just from the blood donation people. Gotcha. He says, you have no secrets, Drew, at Misfit Corner Scams. Yeah, that's true. No secrets whatsoever. I can't hide. I don't even try to hide. It's not the way it works. Saskia says, got fixed, but still no siding on the door of the house. The men went back with our $3,000. Wow. That's a lot of money for a tree removal, but dang. I ever tell you about the guy? I had a guy down the street from me who did tree service. And I was in the backyard or was in the front yard doing something. And he came by one day and says, hey, you got a tree that looks like it's dead and dying. And it's going to fall down in your backyard. I said, yeah. And I was a new homeowner, so I didn't know anything about it. He says, I can help you. I can take it down for $100. And I said, okay, that sounds reasonable. He literally took a chainsaw, went into the backyard, made one cut. The whole thing fell and crumbled. And he says, I'll be back later with the other chainsaw to cut it up. And he left. It's like, freaking A, I could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
I could have
done that. He never came back.
Oh, no, he did. Okay. It was weeks later. And he chopped the rest of it up. And I'm trying to remember if I helped him move it to the front or if he did it. I think I helped. But, I mean, he just took it out to the corner and they eventually came and got it. But it was like he literally made one cut and the whole thing fell down. And I paid him $100 to do that. I could have done that damn thing. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Rosie says, it really is, Blue Samurai. So many bad stories about charities here, UK. Even the amount they pay people running them is shocking. Oh, yes. I've actually got live charity people on the phone before and asked them, how much does the charity get? How much actually goes to what you're raising it for? And you'll be shocked at the numbers they give. In a lot of cases, it's like an 85-15% split and the charity gets 15%. In some cases, it's a 90-10 split. And that's what they're willing to tell you. It could be even less than that. That's just horrible people. Saskia says, so they only let me type so many words before it cuts off. Oh, okay. Rosie says, oh my gosh, Saskia, 3,000. I keep telling myself not everybody is a bad person, but you only have to read a newspaper now. That is true. Wyona's here. Hey, Wyona says, present. Am I late? Nah, you're right on time. Actually, you were probably here a lot earlier, and I just now got caught up on the chat. So technically, if you got a chat in, you are A-okay in my book. Welcome to the show. Rosie says, I noticed that too, Saskia. Then have to spend ages editing to make comments short enough. Rosie says, hi, Winona. Manuel says, good evening to Winona. Winona says hi to Rosie. Hold on a second. I should read these before I just post them. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I don't know what this is. This looks like something Todd would do just for the heck of it. Google OpenAI says, congratulations, you are one of the few channels that have been selected to test our new OpenAI specializing in scammer psychology. Oh, okay. We'll see where this goes. Blue says, I missed you, Drew and Avery and Tom Spoon. I'm not into listening to the long phone call scam stuff, but I am still subbed. I'm doing okay, hoping the best for Hero when the time comes. Well, thank you, sir. Things are starting to move in the right direction with that. So more about that too. Blue, I recently started posting some scam calls where I actually put my drawing videos in it so that you see the drawing videos and hear a scam call at the same time. I know it's not the same thing, but if you get an opportunity to check them out, that's cool. And I swear I am going to start posting more on the Misfit Corner Comics channel. I get so busy sometimes I completely forget I have a second channel dedicated to comics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Plus, we're on Todd's channel.
Yes.
And we talk a lot about comics there. Now, a lot of that stuff has to do with Web3 NFT comics we work on.
Right. But there's a lot of other stuff we talk about that that's not involved in that. So it's still, I think it's entertaining. Do you?
Yeah. I love Thursday and Friday night. I love it. Nerd Den, dude.
Good. Well,
I could nerd out on, like last night, we were just nerding out on old Detective Comics.
Yes, and that was a lot of fun.
I loved it.
So, yep. All right, Rosie says to Blue, we've been here nearly 20 years, but when we first moved in, we got leaflets and estate agents saying family in the areas are looking for homeowners like you. Oh, yeah. I think it's funny when the solar panel guys call and say, hey, we're reaching out to all the people in your neighborhood. And I'm like, I haven't seen a solar panel anywhere in my neighborhood. Who have you actually reached out to? Like, oh, we're talking to everybody. Like, you're full of crap is what you are. But Blue says to Rosie, haha.
Everybody?
T Error says hello. Well, welcome to the show, T. Welcome to the show. Blue says hi to T Error. Blue says to Rosie, yeah, we get the context wrong all the time. Jim says, someone called me, and the first thing they told me, thank you for donating to the American Heart Association. I told them hold up, who said I made a donation and when, and who made a donation. I haven't gotten that one yet. I've gotten calls where they're saying, hey, when we send out the envelope, will you return it with something in it? And I never get to the point where I ask them, or verify my address or anything, because I really want to know where the money's going. And they really don't want to tell you. They really don't want to tell you where it's going. And when they mention
fees,
when they mention they're to elect politicians, I'm like, this is not a charity. This is a slush fund for politicians. They hate it when you ask those questions. Manuel says hello to Blue. Happy Saturday night. Bill says newspaper charged by how much space your ad takes up, also for the photos. That is true. Blue says likewise, Manuel. Happy Saturday. Glass Bottle says my wife obit was on the funeral home and not the newspaper. I think when Granny and my father-in-law's, theirs was in the newspaper, but the funeral home handled it on their website as well as with the newspaper. They pretty much took care of everything. So, I mean, you can do it in multiple places or different places. You don't have to put it in the newspaper, but I know for a fact that sometimes people will want it put in the newspaper because it reaches more people, or the newspaper's website reaches more people. And when somebody passes away and you want to tell the world, or you want to tell everybody, you don't always have everybody's email address. You don't have everybody's names. So you put it in an obituary hoping that somebody's going to come across it. There's a couple of people in my life, in my previous lives, that every now and then I just check the obituaries just to see if they're still with us, just to make sure. And Avery knows some of the people I'm talking about. Just to see, because I have no idea what they're doing nowadays. And
I just want to see if they're dead.
Yeah. And then I run into them at Walmart and I try to pretend like I don't remember their names and run the other way. I did that a few weeks ago. Yeah. Blue says elderly women especially start to feel a need for safety where there are others sound like they will take care of you, which draws you in. More and more and more older people, especially ladies, I mean, it happens, especially people that don't understand technology nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times has your mother sent a message on Facebook and not realizing they weren't doing a private message, they were just posting it on Facebook?
My mother doesn't even know how to. She only does it through Facebook.
Yeah.
She won't do it through a regular text. I'm like, use regular text. I want to delete Messenger off my phone. I don't want to use it. I like there's no need for anybody to contact me through Facebook. I'm there only to occasionally post art.
Right.
I do not give a I even made my Facebook profile private, and I still keep getting friend requests. Like, I'm like,
I get
find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I tell everybody I'm on YouTube. That's where I'm at. Contact me on YouTube. That's the best way to contact me. But I still get I got a message from my sister the other day saying, "Hey, one of our cousins was trying to reach you on Facebook and hasn't heard back from you." And it's like, well, I'm not going to Facebook to read the message, so I'll reach out to her directly. And
yeah, I don't know, but you know what? I feel perfectly safe.
Oh, good. Chick chick.
I feel real safe.
Manuel says, I watch your video on Sunday when I go to church. Okay, just don't do it while you're in church, okay? Because I can't always guarantee that it's perfectly innocent. Actually, it would be funny if somebody was in church. Hey, everybody, check this video out. I honestly would probably do that.
Screw and share.
Screw and share. Oh, so bad. Darlene says, we put in a small picture of mom, her beautiful graduation picture for when she was 18. Oh, that's fantastic.
That's sweet.
That's very nice. Rosie says to Blue, yes, they know elderly ladies and gentlemen are vulnerable, more trusting. It does. It's regrettable, but that is their target audience, guys. That's who they go after. I always find it funny when I'm talking to a scammer and they say, we're making these offers to people who are senior citizens or who have people who have Medicare. They come out and tell you that's who they're targeting. That's who they're trying to take advantage of. You know? And as you guys know, I'm not that old, but I play one on TV. I play an elderly person on TV.
What?
You do a much better older man voice than I do. Me, I just do my normal voice. What? Hello, speak up.
What, Sonny?
I hate to say it. When I try to act funny, instead of just being myself, I get a little racist.
Pretty funny to me, Sonny.
Yeah, I am funny, but I get a little racist. I actually, dude, I got a video.
You a little racist?
Yes, I do. I have a video coming out. I haven't edited it yet, guys, because there were some F-bombs that were dropped in the video, not by me, by the scammer.
Oh.
But he told me, let me ask you, Avery. I'm going to tell you what he said his name was, and then ask you what your first response would have been. His name was Elliot Page. All right, never mind. Don't answer that. Don't respond. Don't respond, because I went there. And he was like, "What?
I'm Optimus Prime. We're both Transformers."
I was like, "Are you a famous movie actress who became a man?" And he's like, "What?"
Elliot Page.
I literally had to explain it to him, and he
it's
thought
like your fake name sucks, buddy.
Your fake. You need to work on your fake name. I love it when they say my name's Paul Smith. Like, oh, jeez. Yeah, Paul Smith, really.
But isn't Paul Smith a comic book artist?
He is, but they wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
they just think Smith is such a common name.
It is, and it is. But when you're meeting someone, especially over the phone, and they give you the last name Smith, you're like, you're not even real.
I don't think I know any Smiths. Do you?
No.
I'm just going through my head. Well, a lot of the people that I meet at the store, I learn their first names. I don't ask them what their last names are, so I may know a bunch of Smiths, and I just don't know it. I mean, I had one guy that I've actually done trades with.
Someone that you personally know, not an acquaintance, not somebody you went to high school with.
I can't think of a single Smith, to be
someone
honest
that's
with
in
you.
your life.
No?
Exactly.
That's so weird. All right, let me wrap this up. Finish. There's a lot of comments here. Bill says, oh, wait a minute. Glass Bottle says a heavy accent with broken English scam right off the bat. In most cases, yes. Bill says, watch out for imposters at the repast meal. I'm not sure what that is. Saskia says, oh, Rosie, so scary too. Yep. Blue says, I'm trying to imagine sitting on my old church with an earpiece in, listening to Drew on a phone scam video during the music section of the church service. Just as long as you don't burst out laughing. Because trust me, if you do, it'll happen at the wrong moment. The absolute wrong moment. Winona says, hey to Manuel. Glass Bottle says, I cuss the scammers out every time. See, I don't often. It has happened. I'm usually more mellow than that. But I'll be like, you dumbass. I've said that many, many times. I try not to go any further than that. But there's been times where an F-bomb has been dropped by me. But I try not to do that. Saskia says, Drew, the scammers follow a script because they know it works. Yes, I know. And it's the same script every time. They barely, from time to time, they'll change it up and they'll do something new. But most of the time, they just stick to the same script. And it's because it works. It works on people. And when you hear the script, you know it's a script. You know it's a scam. And they try so hard. Rosie says it really is, Saskia. I hate when the world isn't the same as when I was young. Well, that's going to happen to everybody all the time. Glass Bottle says that's why I signed up for Incogni and Aurora to block my info. I don't know what those are, but Incogni and Aurora. Okay. If those are sites that protect your identity, then hey, go for it. Go for it. Rosie says, I look back at my teens in the late 70s and early 80s and can't believe the changes since then. Yeah. What's so funny is changes that are happening nowadays are happening faster, much faster than they did. I mean, some changes in the 80s took 5, 6, 7, 8 years to happen. And nowadays we have changes like every week, something changes, which is crazy. The speed is just breakneck. Breakneck. Did I say net? Breakneck doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Break yourself, fool.
Rosie says there are good people though. The bad people are not the majority. We just have to be careful is all. That is true. Absolutely true. Tim's here. Hey Tim, how's it going? Says my wife got your credit card hacked over the same problem. Got our credit card hacked over the same problem last year. I'm guessing that's the Facebook ordering thing. He says my wife also calls all websites Facebook. That's funny. I've caught my mother-in-law. In the morning, I make breakfast for the two of us because I start early and she's usually up by the time I get up and start working. And so I'll make breakfast for both of us. And I'll go in to bring her breakfast and she's on her phone scrolling Facebook. They think there are people that think that's where you get your information from. That's where you get everything from. It's scary. So Manuel says, hello, good evening to Tim. Very sorry about your wife. Darlene says, my oldest son almost got his account wiped out. He Googled a number for track phone help. It didn't realize it at first. Got his debit card canceled the next morning. Oh, geez. Oh, you got to be careful when you're Googling stuff. Bill says, I got kicked out of CSL Plasma because the nurse told me she could force me to give her all my medical history. I said not without HIPAA. She got pissed. Well, and it's true. You don't have to give your information to anybody. They can also say, well, if you don't give us the information, we're not going to do something for you. But that's nobody has to force you to do anything. I swear we still live in a free country,
Don't worry, they're fixing that.
Yeah. Blue says, my dad started the middle name trick in the late 80s on registration cards. He just used a different middle initial and kept a list. Oh, okay. See, I have heard it before. It might even have been Blue that told me about it back then. So but I think I've heard it more than once. So very cool, very cool. Saskia says, I have no cable TV anymore and no newspaper either. Everything we read online. That's another part of the world we live in. Darlene says, we paid $350 for 2 trees and branches out in the front. Okay. $350 for 2 trees doesn't sound horrible. $3,000? That's a whole nother story, you know? Smidgen13 says, good evening from California. I am popping in before the dogs get pushy about their dinner being served. Okay. Well, welcome to the show. We are wrapping up, but I appreciate you coming in, Smidgen. Glassbottom says, or steal the donation for themselves, and that's why you don't tell them your credit card number and tell them just mail it. That is true. Saskia says, we have one big dead tree in the yard. My neighbor is going to get it down this summer. Very nice guy. Very good. Neighbors are usually the people you can rely on when it comes to stuff like that. So it's good that you have somebody that's capable and able to help, you know? I'm so afraid of people taking advantage of people, you know? If you have a neighbor who's willing to help you, it's not like you don't know where they live, you know? Rosie says hi to Smidgen. Smidgen says hi to Rosie. Rosie says, sends him a virtual hug. Blue says, how and when did I get subbed to the Scam channel? I got subbed to Todd. What's his channel name? Clever Era. Clever. Second word, Era. ERA.
Well, this Scam channel is the original channel.
Right. This Misfit Corner Scams used to be Misfit Corner Comics. I just changed the name to Misfit Corner Scams, started doing the scam stuff, and then started moving stuff over to another channel named Misfit Corner Comics. So that's how I tricked you, Blue. That's how I got you. I got you, and I'm not going to let go.
Because he used to do both on this channel, and then the scam started taking off.
Yes.
People started they were subbing just for the scam call content.
Yep. Yeah, the scam stuff blew up a little over a year ago, December of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It just blew up, and I had one scam video like almost overnight had 15,000 views, and I have no idea what I did there. I wish I could recreate that.
Probably one of the bigger channels saw it and said something,
or YouTube did something,
or YouTube picked it up in the algorithm.
Yeah, it happens.
But some of the bigger channels have noticed you, and I think have mentioned you.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Manuel says hello to Smidgen. Happy Saturday night. Rosie says to Saskia, we have an apple tree in our backyard that will have to be cut down before it moves into the house with us. Oh, boy. Smidgen says, same to you, Manuel. Blue says, I love that Drew reads all of us saying hi to each other. Start doing it more on your streams, on my streams. Well, Blue, it goes back to in my old channel, the old way of doing the Hero Hour and all that, the live streaming with the Todd and Drew show, where I would abandon the chat and not read the chats. I've made a commitment to try to read every single comment, because you guys take the moments, the seconds, the minutes to type these things out. I'm gonna read them. I'm committed to trying to read them. So Blue's been with us for back when I was where the guys, they used to rag on me hard for ignoring the chats. # ignore the chat, or # abandoning the chat.
Oh yeah,
is a very common saying on my channel.
We would have like 3 or 4 people in chat. They would be saying stuff to you,
and I'd be talking about whatever.
Yeah, and me and Todd would have to be like, "Yo, dude, yo, the chat, yo."
So I try very hard to make sure the chat is, and if you guys want to say hi, I'll read that. I have no problem whatsoever with that. I like doing it. I was about to say I love doing it. I got an attachment. I've got a growing ripple in my heart attachment to reading all the chats. It's a little ripple, yeah. I don't think it's true love.
It's like a ruffle. It's got ridges.
I'm not going to pull out a wedding ring, and I'm not going to commit to many years to all these chats. But there's a part of me that wants to make sure it's read and taken care of, and at least give you guys one good night of enjoyment. I was really trying to find a way to commit to the metaphor, but I think I ruined it.
Yeah.
All right, let me catch back up on the chat. Sorry, guys. Blue says my mom's obit is going to be light. She raised 7 kids and now can't cook unless it's for the army. Lit. Yeah. Darlene says 1 tree, different one, fell on our house. Only a small hole in the roof. Neighbors cut it up for us for free. We gave him Dunkin' Donuts gift card for his trouble. Hopefully he's not diabetic, because that could be bad. But that's good that you had neighbors that could help. That's always a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Bill says I get the one a lot where the guy calls and asks me if Carol Sparks is there. I tell them no one lives here by that name. Then they try to sell me on donating to the police association. Yes. We get calls at the house from my mother-in-law, and when I answer the phone, I say, "May I ask who's calling?" They go, "Oh, we can talk to either one of you." It's like, who the hell who do you think I am?
Who do you think I am?
Yeah, I'm just the hot stud that lives in her house, man. I'm the pool boy. I'm not her husband or anything.
Oh, good.
Avery's picturing that right now, and I think I just ruined his weekend.
Whew, that's rough.
Yeah, it is. Manuel says, I deleted my Facebook account in 2020 from my iPhone. Good. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I even put Facebook on my new phone. I've had it almost a year, so that's not one that I use. Now I will admit I have gone to Instagram a couple of times because there was some artists that I was following on Instagram where I wanted to see what they were doing. But if it's been 6 months since I opened that app, it's been longer than that. So Blue says there's no need for anyone to contact me. Avery just stopped there. Oh, that was a while ago. Glassbottom says to Bill, yes, and they call you out by your name like they know you. I jump a lot of mud holes on them. Well, good. Saskia says, I got Facebook, but only check it once in a while. But I do keep in touch with my family on Messenger and not the Twitter or Instagram. That's good, too. Manuel says, I watched my car at church parking lot before I go into church. Okay. Darlene says, my sister's cell phone doesn't work, so we use Facebook Messenger. Okay. Rosie says, we use Messenger to chat to family too, Saskia. Family all live down south in England, so we don't get to see them, but we chat with them every Sunday. Well, that's nice. I actually, I had one of my regulars had come in, and we were talking. His wife had passed away, and he was talking about how most of his family and friends still live in like Cleveland or New York. And we were talking about, he was going to be reaching out to a few people just to touch base with them. And I said, I truly appreciate the fact that the internet has helped me stay in touch with some of my closest friends. I say, I have live streams with them once a week. Once a week we get together and talk about whatever it is we want to talk about and have a good time doing it. I appreciate the fact that the internet has given us that ability to stay in touch but he's a much older guy. He's in his late 60s. And so the internet, it's not like a fad for him. It's not something he does all the time, but he is planning on reaching out to people and so forth. I encouraged him to do so, especially family and friends. But, and I told him, if you get bored on the weekends, come to the store. We'll talk about movies or whatever you want to talk about. You're more than welcome to come in the store and chit chat. And he appreciated that. So I said, cool. But, yeah, well, everybody's got to have some kind of outlet. Ours is the Thursday and Friday shows, right, Avery?
Uh-huh.
And this show, right?
Yeah.
Avery doesn't want to admit it, but he's my best buddy.
Stop it. I'm very uncomfortable now.
I know. Glassbottom says scammers use basic names because they can't pronounce long names. That's true, too. Darlene says, I have a cousin named Paul Smith. You do? Okay. By any chance, Darlene, is he a comic book artist? I mean, if so, we'd love to talk to him and say hi.
That Paul Smith, yeah. Legendary.
Actually, I don't know if that Paul Smith is still around. Do you?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Oh, okay. Saskia says, Rosie, take care of that tree. You never know. One bad storm and can fall on your house. That is true. Bill says, I just opened another Amazon scam email saying I was charged $800 for an Amazon Fire TV, 75-inch Omni Series 4K smart TV with Dolby Vision hands-free with Alexa. Well, that sounds like a very nice TV.
Yeah.
$800, not too bad for a 75-incher.
Yeah. You know what I do when I get those Amazon scam emails?
What's that?
I just open up my Amazon account and go to my purchases. I can see everything I've ever bought from Amazon right there. If it's not there, you didn't buy it. It's a scam.
I love it when the scammers call you and you say, wait a minute, I'm on my Amazon account. I don't see any recent orders. Like, oh, well, you can't see it. Only we can see it. Go, no. Of course.
No, your entire purchase history is there.
Yeah. But they think you're dumb. They think you're dumb. They do. Andy says, I love to waste their time when they call me. Most of them are Medicare scams. Yep. Get a lot of those. All right, I'm going to quickly try to catch up on the chat real quick so that we can get this over. We're an hour and 20 minutes.
No. Oh.
You guys, I hate to say it, but sometimes the conversations are just fun and we just keep going. And I try to keep the show to an hour. I don't want to keep you guys longer, but sometimes we just can't stop. Rosie says, Facebook Messenger is good, Darlene. We can chat happily and don't have to be careful with phone numbers or other things you don't want public. So it's really like chatting. You got to be careful, though. You won't believe how many times my wife has thought she was sending a direct message on Facebook and instead posted messages. And I'm just like, oh, my God, dear. Sometimes she can't tell the difference, and it's scary. So just be careful. Bill says, repast is a meal after a funeral. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I'm with you, Bill. Sorry. I gotcha. Rosie says to Saskia, hubby is going to cut it all back. Oh, the tree. Very good. Blue says, when I answer a scam call, like offering me house stuff for my new house, did not buy a new house recently. I play that they have the wrong number or the wrong name. So they disassociate my name and number. It doesn't help. They still call me. Blue says, never confirm any info over the phone. If they have your name, I deny that name is mine by saying, no, you have the wrong number. Most of the time, what's so funny is when they call and they say they're calling about Medicare or something. I always ask them, who are you calling for? Because sometimes they'll throw out Timothy. Sometimes they'll throw out Eugene. Sometimes they'll throw out Carl, which I never started using Carl. They just asked for Carl, and I just said, yeah, that's me.
I'm Carl.
I'll be Carl. Saskia says to Glass Bottom, Aurora and Guardio or Surf Shacked. I don't know that one. I don't know with one to get. I have no idea. Blue says, Drew, we're sorry about your wife, too. I feel for her because she's married a comic guy. Yeah, I feel sorry for her all the time, too. But
she knew. She'd met him.
Yeah, she did. And honestly, she's the one that when I asked, she said, oh, all right. So that was it. That was love at first sight. Okay, fine. You can touch my boobie. I'm like, done. This is the woman of my dreams. I'm in love forever.
Oh, God. Did you have to say it that way?
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm going to tell your wife you said that.
I got to be careful. If I get too loud, she'll come storming in here.
Yeah.
She's done it before.
I can get you in trouble.
I know. Glass Bottle says to Saskia, whatever fits your price range, Incogni is a best bet and cheaper. Okay. Saskia says to Darlene, I'm wrecking my brain of doing something nice back for the neighbor. Food's always good. Home cooked food's always good.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Brownies,
yeah. Thank you, Glass Bottom. She says, we'll let you know which one I go for. Very good. Manuel says, I watch your videos at church before I walk into church. My good. Okay. Very good. If you want to watch them during church, as long as you keep the volume down, you'll be okay. But I don't recommend it because you never know. Saskia says, Drew, I have a son. His name is Timothy. Oh, excellent. Blue says, I understand you, Manuel. It was a typo. Okay. Rosie says, time flies when you're having fun. That is true. Blue says, when Amazon scammers lie to you, just start making up recent purchases like personal products or duct tape and rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you confirm my last order was duct tape and rope?
Yeah. My last were zip ties, rubber gloves,
bleach. Gotta get a lot of bleach. Yeah.
And a bone saw.
A bone saw. Darlene says, I signed up for Facebook in 2009. My sister told me to. Well, then it's her fault. Rosie sends a virtual hug. Hey Michael, how's it going? Says, if your webcam was control software, try adjusting the EV compression to minus 0.3 or less and see if that improves the look on your face. Oh, nothing's going to change the look on my face.
He meant the quality.
Well, I'm in order to make sure I can read everything, my face is 8 inches away from my computer screen. I'm getting close to my screen, and I have a light overhead. He's just picking on my face. I know it. Smidgen says, I got a dog. I got the dogs fed while listening to the show. Dogs and I are both happy, and now I have to get dinner for the hubby and I. Okay, sounds good. I'm wrapping up the show now, I promise. Darlene says, I can tell who is a hacker on the messenger. Manuel can confirm this. He sees a lot of scam messages on Messenger and email. So if you get them, please just delete them. Don't respond to them. Bill says, have a will or relatives will fight over a can of beans. Well, it's going to happen no matter what in some cases. So
yeah.
Blue says skills, Darlene. Darlene says or Smidgen says to Darlene, that's how long I've been on Facebook too. 2009. Okay. Blue says, I subbed to the new Misfit Corner comics. Can't find Todd's just now. I'll write it.
Clever era.
Clever era. Darlene says, well, Facebook is better than MySpace. Well, MySpace still exists, doesn't it? Or does it not exist at all?
I don't know. I haven't.
I thought it became like OnlyFans or something like that at some point. But okay.
I haven't.
Saskia says, good night, everybody. Hope to do it again next week. Fantastic. Very good. Darlene, Saskia, please take it easy. Enjoy. Blue says era, not arrow. Yes, era. It's a weird name.
Era.
And then Bill says, stop the stream already. Go to bed. On that note, we're going to wrap up, everybody. I thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. I always enjoy the conversations. You guys are fantastic. Thank you once again to my good friend Avery for joining and being my
You're welcome.
What's the guy that sits in this? Ed McMahon, for being my Ed McMahon. Thank you so much. And everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Everybody have a great week, and hope you all are able to join next weekend when we do this all over again next Saturday. And maybe we'll try to bring something fun to the show. We'll try to figure something out.
Like herpes.
Oh, God. Not that. I absolutely guarantee you that's not what we're going to do.
Okay.
And always remember, if you get calls like the ones I get on my show that I share on the show, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. Everybody have a fantastic screw and share. Have a fantastic evening. Goodbye, everybody.